Hey guys, what's going on? Newfly here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a random name picker, which is something that I had to make a couple of times and kind of lost the program by accident. And I figured, well, if I need to make it again, why not show you how to make one yourself? And this is going to be done in Visual Studio 2015 in C#. So we're just going to add a couple names in here. And when you select a name, it'll put it in the box, and right now it just will put them into a list. So I was using it for picking teams on something, so it kind of went for what I wanted. But so let us get started. Let me just make a new project. What you're going to want to do is when you make your project, you're going to want to choose a Windows form application because you are going to be dragging and dropping, so not a console form application. I'm going to call it tutorial. Okay. Alright, so here we go. First, let's just make it, that's a good size. That doesn't really matter, it's all preference. So I'll call it name tutorial. I was like doing that because if I don't just name in the beginning, I will forget, and it is a pain when you are just trying to figure out why you didn't change it early. So first, let's go ahead and put, what should we put first? Let's put our text box. So this is going to be where you enter your name. Draw it out to there. Go up here, we're going to call this name Richard. Alright, and then we'll put a label above it. We're just going to have this label say here. If I mumble, it's because I'm talking to myself, because when I type I have to talk to myself. Helps me know what I'm typing. So then we're just going to have add name. Well, we had add name. We'll just put remove name over here too, because on the old form it looked a little weird. So remove name. Spelled name wrong. Alright. Now you make sure you change your button like design name so you can access it and not be like, why isn't it working? Alright. So that's the first part. And if I'm going too fast, I'm sorry, I will work on slowing down. I'm used to working at a pretty fast rate. So now what we want to do is, I'm looking at the wrong thing, we need to do a list box. Alright, so when you're making a list box, what you want to remember is, we're going to make it a bigger box just because we don't know how many names. You're going to want to remember that it is not just a list, it is a list box, so you don't need to add your scroll pane to it, because I know if you're switching over from Java you need to add a scroll pane to it, but this you won't need to if you ever get to the point where you need to have, say, 500 names. And of course, if I'm going to do a video later on how you modify it to add the list input and output so it'll save it, but just remember that you don't need to add a scroll pane or anything to it, it automatically will scroll. So we're just going to call this names. I spelled that so wrong, I think. Alright, and then we just need, I should have put the other one in already too, list box number 2, line that up with you. And the reason I'm doing a list box is for the function of it being for picking multiple people, because you know sometimes you need to pick more than one, and I know I set it up to be just for single a couple days ago, or not a couple days ago, last time I made it I was not happy when I forgot that's what it was for, so I had to change the code a lot. So now there's going to be selected name. And the reason I moved the remove name button from down here to up here is because, or I think it was over here, is just for like keeping it kinda, I'm not gonna say symmetrical, but because that's the wrong thing, but keeping it like organized. So then we're going to add, why am I scrolling down? We need another button. And this is going to be our select name button. Select name. I forgot to change this, and we'll call this select. Oops, no. Always remember the first name when it comes to list boxes is the design name, so you don't end up messing up. So now we have our design done, and we're just going to go through. We need a function for all of these. So what you can do is if you hold control while you are selecting these, so instead of just having to click one and the next, and it'll just put them in one by one, you can hold control, I believe, and there you go. It'll put all the functions in at once. So it really saves you some time just instead of clicking, because I know for a while I had to go through and click each element, and that can be a pain. But next, so first thing we don't need anything for our name entered. That's the only thing we added, because you're not doing anything when this is clicked, so don't worry about that. But what we need to do is, for the purpose of holding all the names, we need to do, we're going to use a list as a string. It's going to be the names entered. I think I named it, yeah, so let's do named entered list. Oh my goodness. Oh, I hit caps Y, that's why. I'm hitting every button at the same time right now. String. So this is going to be, you'll see what, well, I hit the wrong button. Like Control Z, I don't know why. So we're going to have two lists, because what you're going to want, or since we're doing this with multiple like names selected, I just like keeping it ordered, keeping it in order for the names you select. So I'll pick names. Basically what's going to happen is every time you click the add name button, so we can go ahead and move on to this while I'm explaining it. When I have a string, we're going to call, we're just going to call it new name. And this is going to hold each name that is entered in the box. So it'll basically, instead of passing it directly, you'll have a string to pass it through. I just like doing it to keep it more organized. So you don't need to do this. You can just have it draw directly from it, which I can show in a second if I remember. So then we're gonna, what was it called? It was name entered, I think. That's why you need to remember your variable name. Yeah, name entered. So name entered dot text returns. So now when you do this, it will set this string new name to whatever is entered in this box. And the point of that, again, is just to hold it while you pass it to the list box. So basically, it's kind of, this holds it and then passes it to the list instead of just sending this directly to the list, which it doesn't matter. You can just do, you can send this directly to the list. It's just preference for me. But so next it'll be names entered items dot add, and all this does is goes to the names entered box, which would be this. Goes to the items. I don't know what you call it. I'm drawing a blank on that. But basically, it's just adding the item to this to the box, and then that's where you pass new name. Oops, new name. And what I was saying earlier is the reason we have this is just kind of to hold it, but in reality, you can just do this if you really wanted. You can just pass it that. But I just like using a string because it helps me be more organized when I'm testing things. And then we'll say names entered list dot add, and then new name. And this is just really keeping track of the lists, so you can pick each name out, because I prefer having the list and the list box kind of duplicated, so that you can draw from one and it'll get the same value, which just keeps it really organized, in my opinion. I could be wrong, it could just be my preference. But then finally you're just going to say name entered text is equal to blank. And what this is going to do is each time you click the add name button, it's going to clear the box so that you don't need to keep deleting the name. Then yeah, it removes the name from the entered box. So now that we have this done, we're going to go ahead and do the remove function, which all this does, we're going to give an integer so we can know what the selected index is. Equal to the list box, so this will be names entered list. Dot select. Oh, wrong thing. No. We need to just do names entered dot selected index. And all this does is it gets, if we go in here, if we add Noah, which is me, and we were to click remove name, all this would do is it return the index of 0 because that's the starting index for the list. And it just keeps it more organized, so when you remove things, you don't need to worry about putting an index too high if you're going literal over the index value, which that can be for a different video, but this just helps you keep track of it. So when you remove a name, it removes the correct name, because I've had many programs where it will remove the wrong name and it is not fun. So now we're going to go to names. First we're going to remove it from the names entered. So then you just say dot items dot remove at, and then you just say selected index. So as it implies, you're removing the name you have selected from the list box, not the list. So not this yet. You're just removing it from the box. So if you were to just run this, add name Noah remove, it'll remove it from here, but it won't remove it from the list. So if you were to add another name, it could pick the blank value and put that in here. So you don't want that. The next thing you do, you're just going to name entered list dot remove at, and you just call the same thing. So this is just removing it from the list box and the list at the same time. So 2 birds with 1 stone, even though you really don't need to worry about that generally. Next we can go over, I have my notes to the left, that's why. So we got the add name, we got the remove name. So now let's go over, oh wait, hold on, selected index, select name. Okay, yeah, I'm on the right track. I'm just making sure we're on the right thing. So next we're going to do, let's do select. Let us do the select method really quick. So this is where you're going to start using a new thing called, oops, I forgot, new random. And people who know me know I do not shut up about the creating this right here, calling a new random, over using for Java it'd be math.random, because I like having an actual value for it, but that doesn't matter. Don't worry. So now we're gonna create a new integer. I'm just calling it rint because random int is equal to r dot, and this is how we generate the range for the numbers, because if you were to call random from, I believe it'd still be the math method. I haven't learned the how to do it with the other way in C# yet, but you'd have to, it's a pain when you have to do it, because you have to do the I think it's max minus the minimum plus the minimum, and it returns the range for it. But this one, all you have to do is you put your lowest value, which would be 0, and then names enter, oops, not this, dot count. I just can't spell. Oh yeah, I was doing the right thing, I forgot. Start getting it from the list. So this is how you get your range. Then all you're gonna say is name, oh yeah, I forgot, now I need to put it in the selected name dot items dot add. So all this is going to do is it's going to return from the names entered list. Oh my, oh wait, yay, I did the right thing. I thought I just deleted everything. Element at, and then you return rint. So I know I wasn't talking when I said that, but basically all this does is it goes to selected name, which is this, this list box, and it goes through and adds the item from your list at position random n, which is the random name. So that's how you get your random name. It adds it to that. Then the other thing we need to do is our list pick names dot add. And then we do the same thing. Name entered at list. Alright, we can just copy this. And there you go. So now the last thing is you want to remove it from the other list. So we'll say select the name dot remove at oops from your list. Oh my goodness. Oh, I have the wrong name for it. It was names entered list. My bad. Names entered list dot remove at rint, and then you just need to call. Oh my goodness, I'm drawing a place. This is where you call select the name dot items dot remove at. This video might be a little confusing. I'm still trying to get used to actually writing the programs while recording them, because I'm so used to just writing them pretty I'd say quiet, so I'm still trying to get used to this. So if we were to run this, I'm just not going for correctness. I don't know what that was supposed to be, Ben. A select name. Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. Alright. Sorry for the cut, but I was calling the wrong list to remove from, so it was trying to remove the wrong value. But it wasn't anything too bad. It was just user error, or not user error. It was me not reading my my names right. So always remember, keep your variables correct, so you don't start calling and removing from the wrong area, or else you will be doing what I just did. So other than that, that's really it for the tutorial. Again, I'm still getting used to this, so sorry if I'm either talking too fast, not explaining things enough, or just being kind of bad at this whole thing. I'm still getting used to it, but if you have any suggestions, comments, or anything like that, just leave them below. And